Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. We do have a new moon coming up this Saturday, May 4th at 6:45 p.m. New moon in Taurus. Now we will be talking about both these charts. A person, a viewer has requested a new moon reading, but they have the whole 2019. So I've been doing all the months in 2019 for this person. I think it's been a lot of changes in that person's life since they requested this. So their chart is on the right, and the new moon chart is on the left. And again, we will be explaining this for all 12 zodiac signs. But before we do, we're going to just do a little bit of background. What is this? What was that? That was interesting. All right. And we'll be looking at it actually as well. But right now, I'm just going to read some information. It's 14 degrees Taurus. That's where the new moon will be. And this person, as you can see by the chart on the right, her sun sign is 29. I mean, her sun sign is in Taurus. And she's at 27 degrees. So she may be doing some type of speaking. Now, again, I try to make all this so people understand it. The number 27 means a diplomat. This is somebody speaking, maybe resolving an issue, maybe what a diplomat does, saying something, and that could be anywhere, anywhere, anywhere. That's why you have to understand it's just you're just going to do something that's diplomatic, and that could be as small as you and someone gets to the same line almost at the same time, and you say, okay, you go first. That was very diplomatic. Or it could be actually speaking from a classroom, speaking to relatives, speaking to friends, but it will be something diplomatic, and that's because of her sun sign at 27 degrees. Now, you know what's ironic? Taurus at 15 degrees with this new at 14 degrees. Taurus, new moon, 14 degrees Taurus. Well, again, that is what? That is the star card. The star card, which again is Aquarius energy. So once again, you see her speaking though, because her 14 degrees is Mercury. So she will be called on at this time to do some type of speaking that'll be somewhat diplomatic about it. It might even shine a light on something for somebody else or possibly herself. Wow. And then it's right next to Chiron on her chart, which is the healer. So that's interesting. But and remember, whenever you're dealing with any type of full moon, new moon, you can go anywhere from 7 days before that occurrence to 7 days afterwards. Because I know we have a lot of technical people, and you said on Tuesday, blah, 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 it didn't happen. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen on Thursday, or it might have happened 2 days before. That's astrology. This is all energy. That's just how it works. So I try to make that perfectly clear for technical people who want it to happen right on the exact time at the exact date. It usually doesn't happen like that. All right. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it shocks you, amazingly accurate, and then other times it's maybe a day or two or whatever. I look at everything as a type of wake-up call, just to get you thinking in that area. But sometimes it is very precise. Sometimes it's not. Could be a day or two off, a week off. Alrighty. Now, I do want to look at the star card kind of quickly and just talk about that. Give me a moment. All right. Just as I hit this this browser to move to the next, I saw something. I was trying to get it back. Then I hit the back button, but Still not seeing it. Just give me a moment. All right. Okay, so tarot card number 14, I believe that is the Temperance card. That's why I wanted to double check. And tarot card number 17 is the Star card, which is Aquarius energy. The Temperance card is Sagittarius energy, card number 14. So again, so this new moon, Taurus at 14 degrees, it is going to have a Sagittarius energy to it. If you know anything about the Temperance card number 14, Sagittarius energy, and the Archangel card, Raguel, Divine Order, both Sagittarius energy, but that one has the scales. So it's all about bringing those two rather masculine, feminine energies together. But it's going to try to balance out two energies. And I'm sure as we go on, we'll learn more. And that it says divine order. Everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see underlying order. So that's all Sagittarius energy. And if you've ever had a friend that's a Sagittarius, they're good friends, they're good listeners. They can be very caring people. And a lot of times you will see them as your nurses and doctors and psychologists. And even Sagittarius rules the ninth house of higher self, culture, class, higher laws, higher courts, long distance travel. Now, what we will be reading, why is this important? Because this new moon is going to connect people to everything around them. Like if you've ever seen that musician or that artist that just sings to write songs that like the masses of people get into. Like when you remember when Slim Shady came out, he really was hitting a whole lot of people. He was hitting a whole lot of people. Not just he was not the type of rapper that just had one type of people. He had all kind of people liking him. Even people who you thought would not have liked him did, because he was saying so much stuff, so intelligently, so witty, and he had that sense of humor. And people were wondering how could this one guy be so on point. And then around that same time, everybody was dyeing their hair blonde. And like, if you weren't, that's why he wrote that song, The Real Slim Shady, because the world really went crazy. So it's going to be that time now for certain people. They will be able to tap in to the world as a whole, possibly the universe as a whole. So again, it's a good time to be making sure you're taking notes, listening, because things will be coming out. Because like I said, I just tell it like it is. We want astrology because as humans, we tend to be selfish. We want the world and we want astrology to be what we want it to be. But astrology is not here to give you what you want. Astrology is here to show you what you're supposed to be doing, where you're supposed to be at this particular time in your life. And a lot of people have that messed up. You have to open up the mind to find out where you're supposed to be at this time in life. And it's kind of funny because when you accept it, because you're gonna battle the whole way. Just like if you try Christianity, if you said repent, you may battle the whole time. Even if you were saying, I need to change my life, I really need to get myself together. But the whole time you're still battling because you really don't want to change. You don't really see anything wrong with yourself or whatever, or you want things to be a certain way. But the more you do, the more you look back and you're like, wow, I came a long way. So this will be that type of new moon. Remember, new moons mean the ending of something or some things and the beginning of something or some things else. So that's what you're looking forward to. Now, of course, with any new moon or any full moon, you're always supposed to make intentions and take that to the moon. New moon intentions and things to that degree. What are your new moon intentions? Or what do you see in your life that needs to finally close the book on it? Close the book on it. Time to close it so we can move on. Now, this Taurus moon at 14 degrees is in a good aspect, the planet Neptune. Now, what does that mean? This is an especially good new moon for spiritual, mystical, artistic, and creative pursuits. Now, remember, Neptune does influence your dreams. It also influences your 12th house. So wherever you see Neptune on your natal chart and wherever you see your 12th house, this new moon will be influencing. So let's just count hers up. For her first house is Aries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7th house. But let's do this new moon first. All right. Her new moon is in Scorpio. I mean, her first house is in Scorpio on a new moon, the chart to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so you got the new sun, the new moon, and the 7th house. So now this is going to affect Libra, your relationships. Might affect any court issues. Remember we said Sagittarius can deal with court issues. Especially you got both of them at a 14. Wow, both of them are at 14 and 11. Both the sun and moon are at 14, 11. Wow. 14 degrees, 11 minutes. But it is going to be in relationships. But now you got number 3. So something sudden is going to happen for relationships. 313. Now, even 13. Remember they said a new moon. A new moon could be an ending or a beginning. Or both. Because really any ending is a beginning. You could be with the same person and just around that time period they just start acting differently. Like that old thing they used to do, they just stop. See, that's what Uranus does. It shocks you, surprises you. Watch electricity. Now it's at 313 at Uranus. 13 is the death card. So again, something's ending. And remember, this is going to be Libra energy, relationship energy, business partners, court dates, contracts, agreements. And when you look over to the 12th house, which is what Neptune rules, there's Libra again. So it's definitely gonna be relationship orientated. You can't get past it. And remember, the 12th house is about endings, but it's also about things coming out. It's about reckoning. It's about karma. Could also be about secrets, because the 12th house is all about secrets. And also you got to be careful because Libra in the 12th house could be relationship secrets, but it could also be law, because the 12th house deals with law and buildings and things of that nature. So any legal issues you might want to be aware of, tighten up, and even just watch your driving, because anywhere that could get you inside of a legal issue, you want to be careful. Because as you notice, it's 13 degrees in the 12th house too. So it's definitely going to be some type of death, some type of closure. But again, this is Scorpio energy, because the 13th tarot card is a death card, which is Scorpio. And you see the ascendant is in Scorpio. So again, it's kind of going into Scorpio, your 8th house, or wherever Scorpio is on your chart, or the underworld. And as you can see, her Scorpio, her 8th house, has Uranus again. So these are going to be shakeups, and her 18 degrees will be the moon again. So everything I've been talking about, there's going to be shakeups in those areas. Zodiac sign Taurus, shakeup. Libra, relationships or something legal, or business partners or something related to court, shakeup. It's also going to be some type of death but some type of resurrection. Now, that 3 degrees Uranus, again, is going to be Gemini energy, or the third house. And again, like I try to help people, and this is why I say, because most people, they just go, they say, well, I just want to know, are me and so going to get together? Are we not going to get together? Well, it doesn't seem like anything's happening. I'm kind of giving up and moving on. But the bottom line is, like I said, I have a soulmate that works up the street. And believe me, I say the same thing. Trying to move on. Now that it's getting warm outside, the trees are growing, leaves all over the place, and I can't see her or her house as much as I used to. And I was glad for that. But again, just a couple of days ago, minding my own business, coming home, I had to go up a certain way because of the traffic, and was coming up the street. Now, when I was trying to cross the highway to get on my side, to get on my street, somebody was kind enough to let me get through, the highway. So I tooted the horn and say thank you or whatever. And then as I looked up, the soulmate was standing right there on a porch talking to some guy or something. So when I tooted the horn, they both had to look at me. Now, if I had known she was there, I wouldn't have tooted the horn. But this is how this stuff works. So you may think somebody's out of your life, but they're not really out of your life. And when you really realize this is all about energy, this is why you're talking about Neptune. Because through Neptune, through Sagittarius, through your dreams, this is how you're communicating with your soulmates and also your higher self, which is your twin flame or twin soul. So most people are not on that level. They don't want to go metaphysical with it. But that's how astrology really works. So I can't just talk about, bubbly, lovey-dovey. You have to talk about the whole situation. So this new moon is going to be having people connecting. You're going to be resonating. You might get in your dreams, your subconscious. But there's going to be resonating with all kinds of things that I've already mentioned. So again, I would still say, whatever you want to do. But be aware of it. Take notes. Be aware of it. Because all this will have to do with the life. Now again, 3 degrees. Uranus at 3 degrees in the 7th house. Chart on the left is relationships. There's going to be Gemini energy. The 3rd house. And the number 3 is also the Empress card. The Empress card is all about things building. It could be about things in nature, but it could also be about new projects, children, new things coming up. So this is what you're looking at. Now, the number 1411 is quite interesting. So we're going to try to see what that means as well. And what I noticed too, that's why I said this is important, because I notice when I get these readings, a lot of stuff does happen, even if it's not directly, say, a soulmate or a twin flame or twin soul. It'll be like somebody at my job or something, I make some type of connection with, or like a customer that comes in or something. So that's why I said you have to just be aware. You have to be awake. And you can't approach this selfishly, because what happens is you get frustrated. When things don't go your way, you're going to want to tap out. You're like a little kid. Oh, I can't have my way. I'm just going to take my ball and leave. But you should have been listening. The reason why you really don't have your way, because it's your own selfishness is blocking everything. This is all about, just like I said, if two people had a walkie-talkie, when you were little kids, boys played with walkie-talkies. It's the same way. You're transmitting and receiving. But the moment you get selfish and start blocking it, then that's why you're not receiving. And there's even a Bible scripture in James chapter 5. I forget if it's James chapter 5, but it's definitely in the book of James. And he says the reason why you're not receiving is because you're not asking. And the reason why
when you do ask, you're asking the wrong way. You're asking for the wrong purposes. So you have to learn how this whole universe works. And that's why you have other speakers that show you how you can learn how to talk and go out into the universe and get what you want. And there's a lot of people to teach you that. And a lot of people, like with the Archangel cards, they say make sure you have intentions and make sure your intentions are positive. Always speak positive, be optimistic, so that you're not blocking yourself with just negative thinking. So all these things are universal truths. All right. So now we're looking at the number 1411. Now this is a new moon. Sun and moon both at 14 degrees, 11 minutes. Now listen to this. Angel number 1411 encourages patience. But guess what? Now isn't that kind of unique that they said encourages patience? But that's what Taurus is known for. Taurus is known for being a patient zodiac sign. That's interesting. Encourages patience, planning, renewal, and growth. Now again, renewal. This person doesn't know I'm talking about a new moon right now. A new moon in Taurus would be about patience and something new, or renewal and growth. So that's why I tell people constantly, when you actually take the notes and you actually study this, you see it. Just like school. Because you can sit in school all day long, but if you ain't taking no notes, you ain't really listening. You might hear it, but when that test comes, you're probably not going to get as good of a grade that you could get. You might even fail. But when you're taking the notes and going through the process, now you know it because you got in the notes, you do whatever. Because the more you write it and look at it and read it, the more deeper it goes inside of you. So now when you take the test, you're like, oh yeah, I know that, and you get a better grade. It's the same thing. So right now, that sun and moon message to Taurus is patience, planning, renewal, growth. But also they say you should also be sharing your knowledge and wisdom with others. And again, Sagittarius is a teacher, and a lot of times they even talk about Taurus being a type of teacher. So 1411 also tells you that you put your efforts toward, that all you put your efforts towards will reap rewards in the future. And again, that's what I said. But nobody really wants to hear about the future. They want it now. And that's how people get frustrated. They don't take this seriously. You might have somebody, you might get mad at your reader when all they're doing is reading what's out there, what the universe is saying. Like, it's just things people do because it's just a, human nature, but it's just a form of impatience as well as immaturity. So the message so far to this person is be patient, keep planning, keep growing. And this is what they said: expect some well-earned rewards for good work well done. Your angels want you to know that you deserve the very best. So they're telling you to engage in creative projects. And that's what number 3 is, the Empress card. Venus energy. See, Venus rules Taurus and Libra. And right now, based on what we're saying, that's pretty much what you're looking for, what you're looking at. Because if Taurus is in the 7th house, well, the 7th house is ruled by Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. So Venus rules Taurus and Libra. So this could be a great time for relationships. Either something going on with relationships you're already with, or some type of new situation with relationships. But it also means endings as well. So got to be mindful of that. So you're being encouraged to engage in creative projects and pursuits. Concentrate and focus upon your spirituality and serve your divine life purpose. Excuse me. So that's why I say in planet Neptune, because you will be dealing with your spirituality. But that's why you have to be aware of your dreams, what's going on in your subconscious mind. Now they're telling you to stay away from negative situations and keep a positive attitude and outlook in regards to your life and destiny. And it's funny how they should say destiny, because now you'll be looking at the vertex cross, ironically. And the vertex cross on the chart to the left is right there in Gemini at 9 degrees. And that's kind of like Virgo energy. Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. So once again, we're dealing with Virgo and Venus energy. Now your vertex is in that 7th house. But it's still 12 degrees, which is Neptune. So you could clearly see this as a relationship matters. You can't get past it. Now, your Pluto retrograde is 16 degrees. That's Mars energy. And once again, Mars is in Gemini. So that's what I mean about astrology. Now, I don't know what the situation is, but I deal with a lot of people. I do a lot of natal charts. Now, let's just say you contact me for certain signs, and maybe one of the signs it just wasn't going the way you wanted it to, or maybe your last reading wasn't what you really expected to hear. But see, my job is to keep it 100 and tell you what the universe says. My job is not to rip you off and tell you what you want to hear and take your money, because I really believe people that do that are gonna pay for that. Like, that's the most the base form of spirituality there is, because you're disrespecting the person who came to you. You're disrespecting all these spirits to make this happen. And I don't think a person that does that is gonna fare too well. Now, so for whatever reason, a person might say, well, I'm really not, ever since I didn't get the reading I thought I was going to get, I'm not really into this, and, blah, 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 blah. So they kind of turned off. But the bottom line is you still see a Gemini influence on these charts. And in her 7th house with Libra, you see 12 degrees Neptune. And we already said Neptune's going to be people's dreams, subconscious mind, but it's also going into the 12th house of endings. And Pluto retrograde is something has to be taken away. Something has to be taken away in order to get this person to look at other options. So 16 degrees is planet Mars. So you say, well, where's planet Mars at? Well, planet Mars on the chart to the left, the new moon chart, is in the 10th house at 7 degrees. And 7 degrees is usually the Chariot card, which is Cancer energy. And that's where the new now look at the new North node. The true North node is in Cancer, but it's in the 9th house, which is ruled by Sagittarius. And there's Juno at 6, which could be the Lover's card, because the Lover's card is number 6. So that's a lot of jumping around. But even if you look at her Mars on her chart, it's right next to Venus, right next to Juno. So once again, some type of Mars confrontation seems to be right in there with her the areas of love on her chart. And this is why I keep trying to tell people that basically what happens with the universe is the universe can do a lot of things, but it can't really make, like, a person has to make their own decisions on what they're gonna do. Like if you're a guy and you're going, wow, the universe always brings her by my house. I don't know what to do. She's always by my house. Oh, we're always making some type of contact. Sometimes I just go out to my door or whatever, go out the window, just look out the window, she'll be walking by, and we'll make eye contact. Wow, what should I? Or you might work with the person, and the universe always puts the person by you. You could be walking somewhere in the building, and they just show up, and it's just you and her on this long ass, quiet ass corridor, just you and her and shit. I've seen all this happen. So what I'm trying to say, the universe gives people the means by which to communicate, but for whatever reason they don't. Either a female might play hard to get, even a guy's trying to talk to her, or a guy might say, I don't know if I really want to do this because, I've been hurt before. Or a person might say, I don't want to get fired. So that's all the universe can do. But what I say is, because of the world we're in this third dimensional, and we just, we come to the wrong conclusions sometimes. Like, for some reason, a female may choose to not trust or believe in a nice guy or a sincere guy, but then she might choose to go all the way out with some so-called thug or bad boy that just totally disrespects her and breaks her heart or whatever. So that's us as humans. We make these wrong decisions all the time. And sometimes the decision where we would say, "Oh, I'm going to try to get in a relationship," but then that doesn't work because guess what? Nobody's perfect, and you're going to get sick of. It's going to get downright boring unless both of y'all are very active people. And to really be active, you're going to need finances because where are you going to go? There's only so many times you can have a picnic somewhere. Nobody wants a picnic; they want to go out and stuff. So even that could be a problem. So the point I'm trying to make is, with a reading like this one so far, is the universe can keep this coming. Just like now, this reading, you're going to hear Gemini. And if Neptune's hanging out, you're gonna think about Gemini in your dreams, or you might hear something about Gemini. But a lot of times, what I'm saying is, we keep thinking somehow the universe is going to do it all, and the universe can do what it does, but it's not going to do it all, and we have to make up our own decisions what we're going to do. But when we do it, then we are pulling ourselves back into something, and then we kind of like don't know if we really want that, because what if it doesn't work out, or you feel like you finally told this person how you feel, and then they fall back. Like in my case, even if this person was following me all around the building and staring at me all the time, but still every time anything looked like we could try to get past the silly aspect and make it a little more real, it still stays silly. So people don't have time for all of that. So these are the reasons. These are the reasons why the universe, it can bring a person to you. It could kind of do everything, bring them in your dreams, whatever. But it will be both people will have to want it to connect, and usually that's not the case. And sometimes one person wants it, but the other one doesn't, and the other person wants it, and they don't want it. But either way, she's going to be having Mars type situations with this Leo, with this Gemini, and also Pluto retrograde will be tearing something up, removing something, causing something as a shakeup, and that shakeup will have something to do with this Gemini energy as well. And again, Libra energy, as I said, court. I'm not saying that it's going to be court, but Libra is going to be relationship, court, courthouses, business agreements, open enemies, legal matters, relationship matters. And again, when you see the vertex, that is fate, or that is destiny. Like I said, the vertex cross means soulmate, twin soul, which is your twin flame, a significant meeting, a significant event, a significant breakup, your fate or destiny. Now, we just showed you how they're associating that right now with this new moon. They're associating that fate or that destiny with Gemini. On the chart to the left, Mars in Gemini, but it's 22 degrees. 22 is a twin flame number. Also, 22 is the number of new beginnings, because on a major arcana tarot cards, it's card number 0 to 21, and then it starts back over at card number 22. And if you look to the left, the vertex card is 9 degrees, which is Virgo energy. If you go to your Virgo, true north node at 14 degrees. True north node is why you're here, your life purpose. And we already told you 14 degrees is Sagittarius energy, the temperance card, a balancing of the divine masculine, divine feminine energies. And then your Saturn, and wherever you see Saturn on your chart, that is also about karma. Your Saturn is 7 degrees, which we've already said is Cancer energy. And when we go to your Cancer, your good fortune is at 7 degrees. And then when we go to the chart across from you, you see Cancer with the true north node and Juno, which is a serious relationship. And Cancer being 19 degrees, which would be the Sun energy. And then Juno at 6 degrees could still be the Lover's card energy, the 6th house of the zodiac, or Gemini energy, because Gemini energy is the energy behind the Lover's card. So it's still like it's going to be some type of shakeup regarding the Gemini energy. But like I said, that's how the universe is planning it out. But it's the same way with twin flames, because people will try twin flames, and at first they'll want it to work out or whatever. Then they get more and more frustrated, more and more upset, and then they want nothing to do with it. But astrology is still going to do what astrology does. So the person will say, "Well, I don't want to hear that. You know, I don't want nothing to do with that." But yet, out in space, through astrology, the universe is still doing whatever. And again, I told you this is all about energy. It's not just about what we want as humans, because our knowledge of the universe and everything is limited. So that was very interesting. And it's also very interesting how the universe started off with Gemini, when the consensus was, you know what, I think it's time to move on. And just like I said, my twin, I haven't seen my twin since 2016, but you best believe she's in full effect. I just had experience yesterday. But I had a whole lot of stuff. I just did a video on it on my other channel. It was eerie too. 'Cause the picture she sent. Because when you say higher self, you're talking about house number 9. That's that Sagittarius energy. But the picture she sent was quite eerie. So I did a video on that recently. But anyway, so yesterday I'm at my job, and I guess we've lost some people or something was going on. But they put me right in a public eye position for the entire day. And 2 people came up, but like just to let you know, because every now and then when I have time, when I'm on YouTube, I listen to the card readers for my zodiac sign. My sun sign is Leo, so I always get messages from my twin through those readings. And basically they were saying she's different, and I had 2 different people tell me that she's been working with some type of counselor, and they're like saying she's a different person now, and she really wants to just see me and just, kind of show me or tell me, I'm not the same person I was in 2014 and 2016, and I just want you to know that. And if we can't work it out, I just want you to know that I'm not the same person. And so anyway, 2 people came to the area where I was yesterday at my job, and they had some difficulties, but I was helping them, because I'm old school. Like, nowadays, especially on the East Coast, people are very impatient or whatever. But I try to help the people because it's nice that they come in and it's just good business. So they, in order for them to get in the system, they have to have a phone number. So every phone number they were giving me was not working. So I just kept saying, well, you got another one? Give me another one. I was like, give me another one. Give me another one. But like I said, I know what it's like to be struggling, So I try to help people. And so they finally gave me a number that came up. And as soon as her name came up, it was the same name as my twin flame. So that was meant to happen. And as crazy as it sounds, that's probably one of the main reasons why I had to work that particular area that day, which I usually don't work not that long. But it's just, they don't care. Like, the universe don't care. If they got to send you somewhere where you'll be for 6 hours just to be there when that person, whenever comes in, they'll do it. And that's the main reason. Just like I say, even the other day when I saw my soulmate who lives in my neighborhood, I had to do a lot of detours, a lot of different driving different ways and everything. But that was all necessary, so I would be by her house at the same time she's standing there talking to some guy or something. And then me, tooting the horn or whatever. Because that's how it keeps in your consciousness. And that's what Neptune will do with your dreams. And Neptune and Pisces help with your dreams. As you can see, look at the chart to the left. You see Neptune in Pisces. And at 18 degrees is the moon card. This is all about the new moon, new beginnings. And that's what they said about her. She's more spiritual now. Because I've had 2 different readers. They don't know each other, but they've said the same thing about her. Like, she's been working with some type of spiritual teacher or something like that. So, the woman who had the same name as my twin, and they were very nice. Even when they left the store, they would still say, "Oh, you have a great day." They were like unbelievably nice, but that's because that's her higher self, basically saying I'm different now, and we would definitely talk if I ever saw you again. I wouldn't be such a jerk or whatever was going on with her back then. So that's how this really works. Now, anybody telling you anything else, if they're promising you love or something, they're saying that to rip you off, because twin flames don't work like that. A lot of stuff just doesn't work like that. And sometimes what you have is just really lustful people. So they'll jump into a relationship real quick, and they may have sex or something like that, but then they break up again. And a lot of people don't want to go through that crap, because why go through that crap? I mean,
Like people say, it's better to have love than law. It just depends. Was it really love? Like, was it something more than just sex? Because when you jump in a relationship, like a twin flame relationship, and you jump into it real quick and have sex, when that gets taken away from you, like separation, it's like these people feel like their heart was ripped out of them. And that's why I didn't know what a twin flame was, but I've been on this planet long enough. I knew just by the way she was looking at me and stuff like that, like, oh hell no, we're not moving nowhere until we have some type of conversation. Because I'm not trying to get. It took me too long to get so much, quote, emotionally stable to fuck up and be, crazy over some crazy stuff. Plus you work with the person, so that could have got real ugly quick. So now what we're gonna do now is go back to see what else we could read, and then I'm going right in. So because of the new moon in Taurus aspect to Neptune, it can help you in spiritual, mystical, artistic, creative pursuits. In fact, they're telling you this is the best time if you want to do any of those things. That this is the best time to do it, because the new moon is also going to give you courage and passion to act on your hopes and dreams for the future. It is also going to give you the intuition to take a leap of faith, and they keep telling you to take a leap of faith. So a new moon represents the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. And remember, the new moon also gets you ready for the full moon, which will be here like within 2 to 3 weeks. But a lot of times you find out information, or you begin to become aware of information that may blossom even more as the new moon approaches. And they're saying because the sun is conjunct the moon, because that's what a new moon usually is, you're going to have an invigorating burst of energy and initiative. And that's why you keep seeing the number 19, because that's the sun card. 19 degrees is the sun card. So they're saying this is the great time to make a fresh start, turn over a new leaf, start new projects. And like I said, that's what the number 3 is all about. That's the Empress card. That's what she's all about. And a lot of times she's outside in nature, or about kids, children, new projects, children. This is also the time where you may start to question old habits, old behaviors, and beliefs, because you're now searching for new and inventive ways to make progress. Now, the type of person who has this moon aspect, and I told you to connect you to the world and possibly the universe, is Edgar Cayce. If you already know who Edgar Cayce is, probably one of the most famous metaphysicians of all time. Edgar Cayce was walking to an elevator to get on it, and it was kind of full, but he was going to try to squeeze in anyway, because you know how it is when you're in a corporate world and you see a full elevator. You say, well, I got to get to my office, I can't wait. So he said that as he got closer to the elevator, he noticed the aura around everybody in that elevator. And he said when he noticed the color and the aura, he said, never mind, I'll catch another one. So the elevator door closed, and within minutes, that elevator cable had broke, and all those people were dead. But Edgar Cayce saw that by the aura around the people. And there it is. It says Edgar Casey on auras and colors, author interview. So this is on YouTube. It was 7 years ago. Edgar Casey, ARE. Edgar Casey's, like possessive Edgar Casey's, A.Ara.E. 7 years ago. And interesting, they just uploaded something an hour ago. They're working on something called Heal Thyself. All right. And they also say Carl, I guess his name is Jung. Carl, Jung. See, these are people that are tapped in. And again, these are people that have the gifts that help wake people up metaphysically and things of this. But then they say you have to be careful that if you're able to tap into the universe like that, because there's going to be pan-dimensional forces that make it difficult for you to discern your own emotions. But I'm telling you over and over again, if you got in the habit of taking notes, you have a better idea. Because you're right, like I don't know how to explain it to you, but we're at a time now where time is speeding up and all kind of stuff, and just things are going on. And if you don't really have a good idea who you are or what you really want and stuff like that, you will easily be manipulated because you're going to get caught up on what's going on now. But it's not. But it's not now, because now it's going to change again, and then you're going to be like, wow, why did I even do that? Like another example, I said Slim Shady is another rapper named Pat Stay. Perfect example. Here's a white guy from Canada. Now he can come into the roughest hood on the East Coast, New York or New Jersey, wherever they're having a rap events. And even though this is a white guy coming out of Canada, and only thing you know about Canada is like, remember that show? And remember them two dudes that drunk beer and stuff from SCTV? And they would go, hey, he's a hoser. Hey. So that's what you think about Canada, Who can this dude? This dude can't come. How's he gonna battle some of the best rap battlers in New York or New Jersey? How is he gonna do it? But yet he does it, and he comes pretty much by himself. So you'll have a location full of dark skinned people, and you'll have this white guy from Canada battling, and he's good, and that's why they respect him. So he's able to resonate with them by his courage, and he's real witty, what he can say. Plus he's a comedian. He's unbelievably funny, and to see that is amazing, because you think these people want to see this guy. They don't care what he has to say, but he's able to do it. He's beating the best. He's beating like the best of the best. So that's what this type of new moon is going to do. It causes people to be able to resonate with others around them. But it's also a sensual moon, new moon. Because remember, Taurus is a very sensual sign. Patient but sensual. Loves the five senses. Love to eat. Depending on where Taurus is on your chart, this is usually like a very attractive person. And yeah, they do like massages. That's what they said. This is a great time for tourists to book a massage under this new moon. You still got time, depending on when you hear this. Right now, it's May 1st, 5:25 p.m. And they keep saying healing, healing.
And they also mentioned Mercury, which is also in her, and this is good. I think that's her money. That's her money house, her second house. So they mentioned Mercury too. So all this is going on in the money house. Now her Mars is at 1 degree, and again, guess what that is? That's the Magician card. And then again, that's somebody who can speak, and it can happen. That's what the Magician does. That's a 1 degree card. The 0 card is the Fool card, Uranus energy. The number 1 degree card is the Magician card, and that is again Mercury energy. But like I said, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So basically, at this time of this new moon, it's almost like whatever she talks about is going to be somewhat accepted. Now we just saw Cassidy do that. Like I keep talking about rap battling, but Cassidy really had a whole lot of people believing that he could do all that crazy stuff that he said he could do, and he's been getting away with that for years. You know, talking all this crazy talk, and you know, because he's so passionate and so good with it, he had all these people believing it. But unfortunately, just like anything else, it came a time when he had to back it up, and he got his head handed to him at Resolution, the rap battle between Cassidy and Goods. And they have a long history together, but it was finally time to settle that score, and Cassidy did a horrible job. But the point I'm making is, right now, with this Magician energy and Mercury energy, all the stuff I'm saying, this person can really get things done. So if she's planning on, if there's some things you wanted or some things you wanted, this will be the perfect time to get it. And that's anything. Also, like I said, these are great times to try to make peace with people that you don't have peace with, or misunderstandings, because you just got the universe in your favor. And if these people know how to listen, like I said, if they know how to listen or take notes, you can actually tap into other people's emotions, which means you'll have a better way of speaking to them, because you'll know exactly how they feel, and you'll also know what they want to hear. So that way you know what to say. But they're telling Taurus you're going to want to party so much, but you better be careful, because the new moon loves to indulge. And like I said, so does Taurus, because Taurus is very sensual. Like if Taurus is in anywhere where there's gambling and stuff like that, Taurus will literally spend out all of his money and stuff. So they're telling Taurus you have to be careful and have fun, but don't overindulge. So you have a fixed star named Menkar, Menkar, also at 14 degrees. It can cause mental anxiety, hatred of the vulgar, ill will of women, danger from thieves, sickness to native and family, loss of marriage partner or near relative, quarrels, illegal losses, legacies, and inheritances attended by much evil. Emotions run high in general public. So you have to be careful of that. Mercury fixed star also at 14 degrees. And again, if you keep seeing Mars and now Mercury and all that, sometimes it's necessary though, believe it or not. Because like I said, I was trying to talk to, back in around 2009, I was trying to talk to a person named Michelle. And she was a lot like Rosa. Like you would have had to have gotten somewhat confrontational, I guess I could say. Because they weren't going to respond if you didn't. Not that I would do it now. Like I said, I left a lot of that stuff alone. But some of the females, if you don't get a little confrontational with them, they just keep on doing what they do. And that's why, like I said, those are the types who go with the bad boys and stuff like that. And then they get, they get whatever. They get, connected with these guys. They start having these guys kids. And then they find out that these guys are not even mature enough to raise a family. And then that's when they start looking at the nerd again. And that's why I said sometimes you have these women that are older. They're older now. They've been through every guy or whatever. And now they're looking at the nerd trying to pick him up. And if he's wise, he'll realize you're not just somebody's seconds. You're somebody's thirds and fourths and fifths and sixths and sevenths. So, but it is what it is. So is life. So Taurus will be in Deacon 2. Art and beauty become potent weapons. Menkar can be unfortunate. So let's do this again. Menkar at 14 degrees. Mental anxiety, hatred of the vulgar, ill will of women, danger from thieves, sickness to native and family, loss of marriage partner or near relative. And you got to remember, because we were talking a lot about Libra, quarrels, legal losses, legacies, and inheritances attended by much evils. So all I can tell her so far, though, with this Gemini, I really don't even know if the Gemini is still in the picture. But what I'm being shown is it is necessary. See, that type of communication is necessary. See, a lot of times with women, they'll tap out quick. Not all of them, but a lot of times they tap out quick. But sometimes maybe you shouldn't tap out. That's what I try to tell people, because you have to, like I had somebody call yesterday. Yesterday was just a horrible day as far as all the crazy stuff that was going on. But I was determined to make it through the day without, bitching up or saying I got to go home earlier. So I was just determined to do it. I didn't want to be there. But y'all got to understand, like, because of a lot of stuff going on with me, my doctor gave me some bad medicine, messed me up. So I got a lot on my plate. So I'm still in the process of healing. So it is what it is. So a lot of times you're almost sedated. So it's just easier now. Plus, I just see a total life. See, one thing that helped me with just going through life, I just don't worry about stuff no more, I just don't. And I thank God that I'm able to, just live my life. I just really don't worry about stuff. And I'm sure if I was put in a situation where I had to worry, then maybe it would be different. But right now, I just do what I got to do. Like, you can only do so much in a day, So there's no sense of getting crazy and all that. It's only so much you're going to do in a day, no matter who you are. So you're around a lot of people, and they're trying to rush you and trying to come at you all different kind of ways and stuff. But unfortunately, like where I work at, you can't rush anywhere, because our computer system, it's on its own pace. And when you try to rush it, all you do is freeze it. And now everybody got to wait. So my goal is to try the best to let these people know, no, slow down. We can't do it that way, blah, blah, blah. And then when I start to see them do what they do, they try to push their cards in and all that. Hold up, pull it back out, back up. I'm just like, back out, let me come over there. Because once you do that, then it just slows down and it will freeze on you. Like, I've seen the system just freeze on people. But that's because you got people just jamming stuff in it. They just want you to move like extras, because I guess they have their own self-importance. They have their own self-importance, and they think you're just supposed to move at their pace. But even if I wanted to move at their pace, I can't. Our computer system is not going to let us. It just doesn't work that way. But see, I've been alive long enough to tell you that's just the way it is. It's not, when you really understand the universe, you start to humble yourself and realize the universe has everything in control. You can't force everything to go your way. And the faster you learn that, the better off your life will get. So I had somebody call me yesterday. Like I said, it was a horrible day. And that person was just a straight up a-hole. And I usually don't say that, but this person was really an a-hole. Just a straight up a-hole. And there was somebody that was waiting for me to go off the phone, because they had some questions as well. And even they looked at me and said, wow, that person was really like a obnoxious, like a really, terrible, like just a nut job. But like me, I'm a little bit different. So I just try to tell the person, first off, you have to understand, you're calling here, and you called at a time when there literally is nobody on the floor. Like whatever was going on, like we had nobody on the floor, and where I was at, I had to stay. I couldn't come off the floor. I couldn't do jack. So I'm trying to help, but they're just more into talking crazy. You can tell this is the type of person that's used to bossing people around. But first off, you ain't gonna boss me around. That's the first and foremost. Second off, whatever you're asking, you're gonna have to wait till there's some people around. Because I can't even. And she should be glad, because like had I had any people in front of me, I wouldn't have been able to talk to her on the phone anyway. So she either would have had to wait on a long haul or whatever would have happened, because there was nothing I could really do. So she was just the type that's going to keep talking crazy. And everything you try to say, she just keeps talking crazy. So she's not even listening. So I actually said to her, like, and I actually told her, I said, Miss, you have to listen. I said, every time I talk, you're trying to talk over top of me. I said, you have to listen. I said, first off, you're calling here. There's nobody I can get to you right now. There's nobody on the floor. Oh. So I let the people know that quick. They have to know you're not talking to some idiot. You're not talking to some 20-year-old kid that doesn't know no better. You're talking to somebody that's been in business just like you. I've been in corporate offices just like you. So we don't have to, you can't talk down. I can try to find out what's going on with you, and I can try to help you. But then after that, there's nothing else I can do. And if you want to cancel your order and go somewhere else, then do so. Bottom line, you can't say this, but the bottom line is shit happens. And again, the faster you learn that, the faster you'll go through life a little bit better, because you'll stop thinking that you can have something your way all the time, or you can maneuver people or scare people or manipulate people, because the universe is going to send you somebody like me who just doesn't really care about all that. What's the situation? We'll do our best to help you. All that other stuff you're talking about, I could care less, because all you're doing is blah, 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 to try to make your ego, to make you feel important. We're all important. The guy cleaning the toilets is just as important as the guy in a corporate office. And if you've ever worked with me, you'll see I treat them all the same way. My boss is the same as anybody. Nobody, we put our pants on the same way. So she kept on talking crazy, and finally she said, "Oh, the manager, or whatever." So I said, "All right, no problem." That's one thing, is being an adult. Things do happen, and it's horrible. Like it's horrible when it happens, like at a wedding, your wedding or something. But shit happens. That's life. So then this star Minkar, so we're still talking about Saturn. See, Minkar has a Saturn. I'm just gonna say Saturnian, but this one says Saturnine character. So it gives you impediments, worries, and test of endurance. Unjustified enmities, hardening and toughening these people in some ways. So you may go through something right now that's going to make it harder in some ways, but it may be necessary. And also, you have to remember, somewhere in the universe, there is another Taurus going through a Gemini situation. So these tests also make them see things differently, or make them harder in some ways. But like I said, one thing I learned from Michelle was, if I wasn't willing to deal with what she needed, which would have been some guy kind of like, kind of pushing her into the situation, then it wouldn't work. If that wasn't my persona, because like I said, I grew up a lot, so I really don't, I'm just me. I don't really feel the need. I don't have to talk tough. I don't have to, play mind games on you. And I still feel if a female is at that level, then she's a little too immature for me. I don't care what her age is. But if I have to play mind games on you to get you to function, there's something wrong there. So I'm just different. Because, like I said, any relationship has to be mutual. And I learned that, because I used to be the other way. And all you do is get burned, heartbroken, burn. So just like I talked to the lady on the phone, that's how I am. Wait a minute, you're not just going to call here and start talking crazy, and you're mad at me. First off, I can barely hear you. I'm trying to however you're talking, I'm trying to get through that. Second off, you're calling at a time when there's nobody that I really can give you to. I don't even see anybody on the floor. Like if you've ever worked in retail, it's like that. Something could come up. They could be outside with people carrying stuff. They could be in the back. It's just one of them times there's nobody here. But all that talking crazy and making threats, that shit sounds stupid. Like, you know what? Like it's not that serious. It's only, I'm sorry, but shit happened. You know, we'll help you as soon as we can, but first you have to calm down because you're talking. We can't even make out what you're saying. Second off, you're talking like you're talking to someone. First, I don't even know you. Let's get some perfectly clear. I don't know you, so you're talking like I don't owe you anything, ma'am. I don't even know who you are. I need you to calm down. We'll find out what's going on, and we'll get it, whatever it is. We'll try to get it worked out. But all that crazy stuff. Oh, you like you're somebody big. You're a customer like anybody else. Who cares? Like I just don't. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't lose sleep over this because that stuff like that is silly to me. At least find out who you're talking to. At least find out why you felt the need to turn it up. This is my first time hearing you. I remember one time I had to this guy, it was another job I had. This guy was mad, but he had a right to be mad though, because that company I work for, I know how they could be. And I'm always like the cleanup guy. Wherever I go, I'm the cleanup guy. But that's because I've been raised in customer service. So this guy was just extremely mad. And it took me a long time to get that guy to calm down. But he went on and went on. He was furious and blah, blah, blah. But he had a right to be mad because he had dealt with a lot of people in that company that didn't do jack for him but lied to him. So that's why he didn't trust me. But I was like, well, you never talked to me before, you know. But this lady, it was her first time. And she was just an a-hole from the door. I'm sorry if whatever we don't know yet. You're calling talking crazy and we don't know yet. Because you could be dead wrong. You might have pushed the wrong button. You know what I'm saying? We don't know yet. So don't call here talking crazy because we don't know who you are, what your problem is yet. When we find out what your problem is, we'll handle it accordingly. But right now, all we have is somebody on the phone talking crazy. So with the other guy, it took me a long time to calm him down. But I finally did calm him down. And as soon as I hung up, I went right in the boss's office. This is another job I had. I went right in the boss's office and let's say, hey, listen, we got to get this straight. You know, we got to make this right. So same thing with a relationship. If I'm a grown ass man, I don't need a female that thinks like a baby, like a little kid. So if she needs me to manipulate her, that means she's just not emotionally ready. And I wouldn't be happy because I don't want to go backwards. Like the whole thing is you want somebody that inspires you too. So you can't be Mr. Right for somebody. They have to be Mrs. Right for you too. If you expect it to work, unless you don't mind carrying somebody. But after a while, I guess, you know, when you first meet somebody, you're like, oh, I just want to be with them. I don't care. I just want to be with them. But then after a while, you start to see you're always doing for them. They're never doing for you. And they're just selfish and all that. You're going to get sick of that after a while. And that's why you see a lot of people get together real quick and then they break up. They get married real quick and then there's a divorce or separation. So they're telling you that whatever you go through with this Mars energy and Saturnian energy, it may be helping you to get to where you need to be as far as maturity is concerned or toughening up and stuff like that. But now, that fixed star called Minkar, the areas that it really gives you trouble in is your inheritance, so that's money, or any type of inheritance, and your throat ailments. Now, you know we've been talking a lot about Mercury and stuff like that in Gemini. That's all about communications. So now what goes on with Minkar? Minkar has a dark side. It's strong and uncontrolled passions, jealousies, evil associates, immoral and violent. So you have to be very careful of these things going on. You can think about all the stuff I said in this reading so far, and they're letting you know that this star, fixed star Minkar, can bring all that immoral, violent activity. Now there's a triple star called Almach. Almach. Same thing, you're going to be dealing with arts and things of that nature. So this star glows alternately between orange, emerald, and blue. And now this star Almach has Venus qualities. This is Venusian qualities. So the other one was like Saturn. This one's like Venus. And it's funny because Saturn really is the star of Venus. Like our star is not Venus's star. Venus's star is Saturn. So this star Almach gives honor, eminence, artistic ability. But also the star Almach brings out the Mars qualities of ambition, business savvy. So all this is going to be going on. Remember, Taurus rules the second house of your money, your value system, your possessions. Now, one negative aspect of Taurus is that Taurus tends to put value on people. So you don't want to value, you don't want to, like how you value your possessions, you don't want to value people because people have emotions. So you don't want to value people like you would possessions because people have emotions. So Almach is a double star. It likes change and it can be cheerful. So with this new moon, you're going to be talking about Keris and the moon. The moon is going to quincunx Keris. Keris is the mother and the nurturer, but so is the moon. The moon is also the mother and the nurturer. And remember, we talked a lot about Cancer. Remember, the moon rules Cancer. So this is going to affect your, wherever Cancer is on your chart or your fourth house of family, education, property, real estate, vehicle. I mean, it's not, well, it is close to the new moon because I've been having a lot of vehicle issues. And it was funny because one of those I was with my mother when it started. So that's how I know astrology is real. That's why I said, like, that's why I continue to do what I do despite, you know, seeing so many people who want it, but as long as they can do it their way, which is the baby way. They don't want to do it the universe's way. They just want to, where's mine, what's me, what's that? That's all they care about. They could care less. But I keep saying you just can't keep taking from the universe and not really giving back because you're going to pay for that. That's karma. So they say because the moon quincunx Keris, the nurturer, people are going to be looking for the perfect female. So I'm gonna stretch it a little bit and say people may be expecting the woman, that whole motherly thing. So you have to be careful of that. So the woman may be very concerned about with her beauty at this time. But they said it again, but the man might be looking for the perfect woman. But like I said, it's everything. I think people are going to be expecting too much from their mother at this time, like their earthly mother. They may not mean it, but they may be putting too much attention on their mother at this time. But it could also be looking for the perfect woman and stuff like that. And they're saying this could lead to an insatiable sexual drive. So now they're saying that some people gonna go for food like they would go for sex, and some people are gonna go for sex, but it's gonna be somewhat insatiable and restless because of this moon.
All right. So they say it's gonna be some type of contrast going on though with this new moon. They said they're using the example of those who have great luxury with those who have poverty, great poverty. All right. All right. So yeah, even with mothers, they may start craving their children and stuff, even their adult children. Now you gotta remember with Saturn, Saturn was known for eating his children. Saturn is Cronus, so you gotta remember that too. So it could be some stuff because you see Mars up in there too. That's a possibility, or it's just like a form of craving. You know, it could be loving type craving, how are you doing type craving. I was thinking about you craving, but it could also be like I said, some Saturnian like come for you or whatever. And when I say mother, that can also represent feminine energy, feminine going against other feminine energy, or feminine against the masculine, masculine against the masculine, or masculine against them. All right, now they say that this new moon, the tarot card is a six of pentacles, and they kind of tell you what it means, but I don't want to go by that what they say. I want to go more what a be did but biddy. So we'll do that in a moment. I just want to read this. It says new moon meaning. Time of planting new seeds, starting afresh. But because the sun is not shining at that moment, you're working blind without the illumination of the sun's wisdom. So with a new moon, you're working 100% on your instincts, which could also be your intuition. Because remember, the high priestess is the moon. She corresponds with the moon, and that's supposed to be your higher self and wisdom. So they say any decisions you make during a new moon, it may not be in your best interest because you're making them based on infantile cravings. But you also got to remember you might actually just be tapping into your intuition. I mean, that's the strange thing. Let's just say somehow the universe gets you and your twin flame together on this new moon. Now, up until that point, y'all been in separation or something. And somehow, something about this new moon energy, y'all finally get past the separation and start talking, or even something more intimate than that. So if it took that to get you two over the hump, it is what it is. They say during this time, listen to your body. So use discernment, because the sun gives you the light of truth, but during the new moon, it's not lit, and they're saying you could be hoodwinked. So you have to be careful. Now, if you're into magic, they say during the new moon, that's a great time to work magic. All right. So they're saying that's why they say during the new moon, get your intentions in. They said your thought seeds planet and the new moon will grow. And they said, but be careful what you wish for. So because the moon is furthest from the earth during the new moon, it frees it from material limits. So when you're making these intentions during the new moon, those thought seeds can definitely come true. The new moon crystal, it's a healing crystal. It's called crystal phase. ChrysOprasc. And again, you can go right online, look it up. The one I saw was greenish, but it tells you more about it and why. And we also offer the research service here when people want a research service. Otherwise, you can go right to a search engine and get the information. All right. So now we're going to find out what's up with the Six of Pentacles. Giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, charity. Now again, let's look at that. That's the six. That's the meaning of the Six of Pentacles upright. But that's the point: giving and receiving. Now, if you were listening to me talk, that's my point. Relationships flop because somehow they go one-sided. If they ever were mutual, but most relationships are not mutual, and that's why they flip. They go one-sided. It's just not like not saying. I'm just telling you the difference of the ages. I'm not telling you which age was better. But the difference of the age was you could, like, say, go back decades, like go back 40, 50 years ago. You could walk up to a female or whatever and basically just ask them, whatever. And y'all would just be hanging out. You know what I'm saying? And everybody would treat y'all like y'all was married. Like old timers, no, I'm not lying. I guess it depends on what part of America you were in. But it was like that. Like that. Like anybody ever watch Happy Days and all that stupid stuff? It was really like that. Like it was like that. It was almost like if you started seeing somebody, it was automatically, like everybody thought you two were gonna get married or whatever, even if y'all just met or whatever. And like I know as even in the 80s it was kind of like that. Like especially if you were like if you had a religious connotation, like if you were trying to, like you would have to be very careful, because if you tried to talk to a female in your congregation or something, automatically people will start treating y'all like y'all are getting married. Even if y'all just started talking to each other. That was crazy. So going back, Six of Pentacles. So giving and receiving, because like nowadays you got people that want to take, never want to give back, all kind of crazy stuff, or people that always think it's going to be about them every day. It can't be about you every day. And that's why I said when the lady called, she had already made up her mind and she thought she had a right to call and be rude and disrespectful. But she really made a fool out of herself because nobody knew what she was talking about, who you talking about, barely understand what you're saying. And we're trying to help you best again, but every time I say something, you say something stupid. So I finally had to tell her, Miss, you're not even listening. I said, you can't hear nothing I'm saying because every time I talk, you try to talk over top of me. Like, you got to let these people know I'm not scared of you. Like, who do you think you're talking to? It's no children in this room. You're talking to a grown adult. You want somebody to respect you, you respect them. I don't care who you think you are. But like I said, people just don't get it. And you can't help out anybody that's being silly. Because for all you know, she hit the wrong button. And maybe the mistake is her own. Until we find out what happened, we can't just be like, oh, what's going on? Like I said, I gave y'all two examples. One man, he had every right in the world to be angry because they lied to him. And I knew these people because I worked with them. They lied to him. They effed him over, effed him up. But that was his first time ever talking to me. So I sat there that whole time until I let him know, sir, when I get off this phone, first person I'm going to talk to is the boss. And we will do something to get this corrected, whatever we have to do. Now the lady, she just was an idiot, and she kept, put somebody else on the phone. And she don't realize that I'm probably one of the best people that could help her, whatever her situation was. But she was such an a-hole that we could never figure out. Okay, you want to talk to him? Go ahead and talk to him then. Hope it works out for you. So that's why we don't have to act all crazy, because the person we're talking crazy to might be the very person that can help us. Like I said, you don't know. Like you might, let's just say you come in a fast food restaurant, you're in a bad mood, and it's a guy out there sweeping up the parking lot. So you think you could talk to him any way you want to, because, oh, look at you. Ha, ha, ha. All you're doing is sweeping garbage in a parking lot. What kind of life do you have? So you're talking to him like he's insignificant. But you don't realize that he has so much respect of the people that make decisions, not only in that little restaurant, but the corporate people too. The corporate people know him. So he even knows people in the corporate office he could talk to if he wants to. But to you, all you see is a guy picking up garbage in a parking lot. So that's just silly. So the one guy that could have helped you or whatever is the one guy you just dissed. Go figure. So that's what this is. What I'm trying to tell you, this new moon in Taurus, Six of Pentacles. Say it again. And notice this card. I don't know. You can look up the Six of Pentacles, but she's also holding the scale, just like the Raguel, the Sagittarius card, divine order. And then the Temperance card also holds two cups, balancing them out. In other words, let's be fair. It can't just be divine masculine higher than the divine feminine, but it can't be divine feminine higher than the divine masculine. They have to balance out. So that's why they say giving and receiving, sharing wealth, generosity and charity. Because it can't just be poor, rich over poor. It has to be some type of balance. So that's what this new moon is somewhat about. Now, the person on the Six of Pentacles holds the scale, the balanced scale, in his left hand. So this card means it's going to be a state of financial security and generosity. So what they're basically telling Taurus is you may be getting ready to come into a little bit of money at this time, but don't forget to share it with others, especially those in need. So I'll say it again. Six of Pentacles. The interpretation of the card is giving, receiving, sharing wealth, generosity, and charity. And it's also telling you that you may also receive generosity, know how to receive generosity if it comes your way. But the balance can change at any time, and that's why you saw Uranus popping up. And this is also relationship stuff, these scales, because all this is going on in Libra, in the seventh house ruled by Libra. They're showing you how you can give. Now, I'm reading all this information from Biddy, Six of Tarot, Biddy.com, BiddyTarot.com. So they're talking about giving to charitable organizations, tithing or fundraising, helping others. And they say if you can't give financially, then give up your time, energy, love, and support to those who are in need of it. So they're saying any contribution you make will be given back to you. And I think I'm not sure if I saw a 10 degree on your card or a 10 yet, but that's the Wheel of Fortune, and that's what that means. That's also like a Wheel of Fortune, because you got a lot like a Karmic card is also like the world card. That's like number 20, or no, number 21 is a world card, and that's Saturn energy too. Because Saturn is kind of like Karmic energy. And she says the same thing. She said the best help you can give is to help people to be able to help themselves, teach people how to be self-sufficient. And you know this is what it's about, because it starts in the seventh house, but then it goes right to it's in the seventh house is Libra, but Libra is in the 12th house, and that's all about giving and sacrifice and everything. And we're talking about the chart on the left. That chart will determine the universal movement on that Saturday, that coming Saturday. And they're saying if somebody gives you a gift, receive it with gratitude. And again, the Six of Pentacles is a card about financial harmony. The amounts flowing in and out are in balance. And you are thankful and happy for what you have, and you share it with others. So that was kind of unique for that to come up, that card. Now I got that information from darkastrology.com as far as new moon May 2019, and then that took me to Biddy. to read about the Six of Pentacles. So with receiving, it's got to be giving. Otherwise, you're out of balance. With giving, it's got to be receiving. Otherwise, you're out of balance. And if you were listening, I basically said that about any relationship. That's important. All right. So now we're going to go in. We're going to go in, and this will be the 12th. So you just have to listen up because I'm just going to be reading the signs. We're going to start at the 12th house with that 13 degrees Pallas. Pallas retrograde is always helping the less fortunate, the minorities, whoever they may be. 12th house is the house of ending and reckoning and karma. It deals with the past life, past things, and they're looking primarily at anything with a relationship, anything with a business agreement, anything with a law. So this is Libra, anything with Libra. But that 13 degrees means that it will be some type of death situation, something ending. That might be a total ending. It could be a change. It could be something that ends and renews. Might be somebody who represents some type of legal stuff. They want a new way of doing things. Now your ascendant and your east point is at Scorpio. First house Scorpio. So that's really going to be dealing with the 8th house. Now in the universe, the 8th house got... Why would they put Gemini in the 8th house? Because Gemini does not like to go deep. So Gemini is being forced to go deep. So there will be some people who are dealing with a Gemini, and that's what's going on. Because like it's easier for Gemini to tap out, but sometimes arguments may happen. Sometimes Mars might be the best thing you can happen to you. See Mars at 22. It's kind of like, you know, like I said, if you're pursuing somebody or something, and they kind of like they just want to be with you, or they just want to, and you kind of know that that's what it is, so you take it for granted. You know, and so that person finally gives you a reality check. And so now you're kind of shocked that they finally told you off, but now a part of you wants to be with that person. That's kind of what you're looking at. And remember, I try to explain it so people get the best out of it. However you look at it, it's going to be some type of situation with a Gemini. Okay? Now, it could be exactly like I said, but it could be any type of, but either way, it's still going to be a situation with a Gemini. And I'm trying to tell you, when you're talking about the 12th house, talking about Neptune and all that, you're talking about stuff going on in your subconscious mind, even with Scorpio. And you got to remember how universal numerology works. The east point is at 12 degrees Scorpio, but that 12 degrees also goes to number 3. Number 3 can also be Gemini again, Gemini and Scorpio. Number 3 can also be the Empress card, which is Venus energy. But this is all about love and relationship in relationship to Gemini energy. Now, second house, Sagittarius in the second house with Jupiter, but it's Jupiter retrograde. So now a couple of things are going to happen here. First off, Sagittarius in the second house is dealing with any type of foreign money, long distance money, but anything that has to do with culture, class, language, religion, higher courts, higher self. So all that's going on in the second house, but and Jupiter is there for money, but Jupiter retrograde means you're going to question stuff. Question belief systems, the way you used to do things. You might want to question, do they still need to be done that way?
And 23 degrees is a lot like Uranus because they call 23 degrees chaos. Anything can come out of anywhere. And then that's the Curious. That hook is Curious, and again, it's at 12 degrees. So no matter how you look at it, you're still dealing with mystical stuff, spiritual stuff. So now, this is the most, in my opinion, the chart on the left is the most important for that day. Third house, once again, dealing with Gemini. Gemini rules the third house, but now it's karmic. See, you know what it looks like? You know what's funny? Because my ascendant is Gemini. But just last year, that's what they were doing to Leo. They were whipping Leo's ass. They wouldn't let Leo get away from Saturn, Capricorn, or Pluto. That's the ass kicker. That's the ass kicker. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, they're smacking Gemini around now, which is still my ascendant. But they're smacking Gemini around now. Because like I said, I don't know what the situation was, so that's not my point. But there was a situation with the person that requested this, and Gemini was one of those. And just to show you how real this gets, I forget what information we needed, maybe their birth date. So I was asking an Archangel card, and I said I wouldn't have did that for anybody but her, only because people are real funny. And when you don't have no information, so you want the birth date and all that, I had nothing. But I did the card, and I did see another female do it, but she changed her name. She used to call herself Tarot Wiki, but I think she got in trouble because she changed her name. But she's still on YouTube. But she used to show you how you can use tarot cards to get people's months and days and years and stuff. So I said, well, let me just give it a try. But anyway, we came up with Gemini, and we did find out later on that the guy is a Gemini. So that's why I said this has been going on for a while. But now Gemini is being reviewed by the universe. And that's why Gemini is in the 8th house, because you got to go deep. You can't go through your whole life saying, I really don't care. Just give me the basic information. I don't really want to go deep. How are you? I hope they just say fine. Because you don't want to sit there and go, oh, not doing so good. Oh, so and so's not eating like they should, and they had to put them in the room, and now they're hooked up to a machine, and nah. Gemini don't want to hear all that. Like if you're not somebody that's really related to Gemini, if you're not somebody Gemini really wants to know, Gemini don't want to hear all that. All Gemini really was hoping to hear was, oh, they're okay, or they're not doing so good, they're in the hospital. Then after that, he's just going, oh, well, what's wrong or something. He don't really want to know what's wrong. He's just trying to be sociable. But Gemini's not really trying to do that. So now, because Gemini is like that, they don't throw Gemini in the 8th house, which is Scorpio water sign, gonna make Gemini feel and make Gemini go deep. And also in the 3rd house of Gemini, you got a lot of karma. Because now Capricorn is gonna be a little serious, and Capricorn can be career or reputation. And then you got Saturn retrograde at 20 degrees, which 20 degrees is the judgment card, Pluto energy. And Pluto at 20 degrees, that's chaos. That's anything happening out of nowhere. And Gemini and Sagittarius could be issues with authority, time delays. Maybe in a past life you had problems with patience, or you just felt like people had it in for you. So he definitely looks like he's in some type of karmic situation. That Gemini.
Now, fourth house, Aquarius in the fourth house with Lilith. And see how it went karmic, 21 degrees. So that's Saturn energy again. So it's still going karmic. But Aquarius in the fourth house of family, and this is usually the family that doesn't stay in one spot or whatever. Might be some traveling there, and even if you went inside their house, they would have a lot of like pictures or whatever where they've been and all that. And that Aquarius represents the friends, association, and groups, the community. And it's kind of karmic with Saturn, 21 degrees of Saturn energy. And Lilith in the fourth house definitely has some type of feminine connection or motherly connection, but it's still going to be karmic because of 21 degrees, which is Saturn. So that's kind of sweet how they did that, because you got Capricorn right there, ruled by Saturn, in the very next house, and then that house over there, you got it again. So the third house and the fourth house seem like it's definitely some type of karmic connection. Now, when you jump into the fifth house, once again, whenever you see Pisces in the fifth house, this is the person that puts another person on fantasy world pedestal. So it's kind of like you get somebody in your life and you're thinking, can nothing go wrong? And this person, would never do this. And the Mr. or Mrs. Perfect or blah, blah, blah. Because you got the Neptune inception right there. And you got Pisces. So this is a person who's almost willing to sacrifice himself based on some lovey-dovey feelings that's based on some BS. Now remember, Pisces is still ruling the 12th house where Libra is. So this energy is going to hit again. But that may be one of the reasons why things start to go sour. Because you may have somebody thinking, oh, this should be perfect, this person should be perfect, and blah, blah, blah. But all of a sudden, reality hits in. And now you're saying, oh man, I think I rushed into a situation. I'm not sure this is for me. Give me a moment. And then Neptune is at 18 degrees, which is the moon. And remember, Lilith also connects to the moon as well. So that's how the moon aspect of this new moon conjunction is going to be hitting these areas. Now, when you get into the sixth house, which is ruled by Virgo, you got Aries there. Now, remember, this could be anything. Because whenever you got, like, the sixth house is home. When you have Aries in a home, that could be like homeland security, all kind of stuff. Aries is a very aggressive sign. But there goes Venus. And look at the number of Venus, number 17. Now, that is your star card, Aquarius energy. So the universe is really focusing on Aquarius, ironically. And I got a friend that is an Aquarius. I haven't heard from him, and I usually hear from him normally. So you can see how something is affecting Aquarius in the universe. And ironically, You have Mercury there at 26 degrees as well. And 26 is considered like some type of information from God. So it's definitely going to be Aries aggression in this particular house. And you have Vesta, which Vesta is good in the sixth house because the sixth house is ruled by Virgo, and Vesta and Virgo get along well at 14 degrees, which again is that temperance or Sagittarius energy. All right. So a lot going on in that sixth house. Chart on the left, Venus and Mercury. So remember the sixth house. All right, I'm just looking at the sixth house. That's where I'm at. All right. It's interesting. But see, Vesta and Virgo get along. They could be spiritual, but it's still dealing with the balancing, no matter how you look at it, because you got 14 degrees. All right. So as far as like from a political aspect, you're dealing with like homeland security, aggression, stuff like that, and they might even use religious reasons for doing it. Because Vesta is like a warrior, but when you see Vesta with Aries, she could be really a fighter warrior, or depending on where she's at and what's going on, she could be very like a sexual priestess as well. But whenever you're dealing with somebody that's abusive, the investor will show up to deal with the abuse. And it is healing there in the sixth house, but the implication is that you know somebody just becomes a little bit more aggressive and states their purpose, and that'll help things to move forward. All right. So now if you look at where her Aries is in the sixth house with Vesta, and you go right across and you see Aries and Vesta in the chart of the person who requested this, both Vestas at 14 degrees. So you're both going to be dealing with that Sagittarius energy, because this really is like balance. Like I said, it's like the universe is asking, probably, like, just other people too, but her as well, because she requested this. Like, are you putting in what you expect to get out, and think questions like that. All right. So now we're gonna go to the seventh house, where Taurus is, and again that's her sun sign. She, ironically, even her moon sign is Aquarius, so there's definitely gonna be some type of Aquarius connection to her if it isn't already. So again, Sun, Moon, and Taurus with Uranus, anything coming out of anywhere at any time, and three can be Gemini energy. I'm still looking at the chart on the left, and this is in the seventh house relationships, ruled by Libra, but then Libra's right in the 12th house, which I already covered. So will be some type of endings going on, but you also got to be careful, Libra in the 12th house, because the 12th house is also a house of secrets, and this is when you be having like because Libra is supposed to be a couple, but in the house of secrets it could also be like a third wheel, or more than one person. So you have to be careful of all these things in your life. All right, so that's 7. We already did 8, but it does seem like the universe is going to try to shake Gemini up a little bit, because like I said, Gemini will usually going to try to run. It's kind of like the universe is kind of like putting a hold on Gemini, kind of shaking him up a little bit. And the vertex at 9 degrees, that's Virgo, 9 degrees, the Hermit card. So Virgo, Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. All right. So ninth house again, and this could be foreign family, foreigners, family in like a foreign country, long distance family. But it's also education, teenage to adult education, land and property, real estate, vehicles and travel, ancestors, family, your heart, your health, a person's mother, and their subconscious mind, which is Imon Kweli. And you see Juno right there, which means a serious relationship in Cancer. All right. For the medium Coeli, Leo, that's always going to be some type of leader, but Leo's everything: fun, entertainment, creativity, some type of leadership. Could have something to do with travel. That's medium Coeli. 7 degrees, but again, 7 degrees is going to take you back to Cancer again. So Leo and or Cancer, they may be seeing some type of fun, family-like situation, and that's why I try to tell people, um, somebody might see you at one location, but maybe you wasn't smiling or whatever, so they didn't really, or they didn't hear you crack a joke or whatever, and they don't pick up on it. Then they may see you somewhere else and you crack a joke or you're smiling, and now they're interested in you, now they're attracted to you. Because right now the true north node is in Cancer, and so is Juno. So there is going to be some type of Cancer Leo connection as well. Now, like I said, I will go through this and you'll be hearing all 12 zodiac signs. And I'm pretty much almost done with that. And then I'm going to go over to the chart on the right and go around it. Medium Coeli is also part of the True North Node, so that's totally agreeing with what I just said. Where you see MC, it's also going to be with that True North Node. So right now the universe is really looking at Leo and Cancer. So Leo can expect Cancer. Remember, motherly's in there, the mother's in there. That's the Imon Coeli in there and stuff like that. But also possible and it's even the Juno's at 6 degrees, and the True North Node is at 19 degrees, which is the sun sign, the ruler of Leo and Juno. So just some Leos may even meet somebody that's family minded, like for a serious relationship. And when you see where her Leo is, you see that Jupiter, which is finances, and again at 3 degrees. So everything I said about 3 degrees. See, that's still Gemini energy, and anything at 3, like Leo and Gemini, they're both very creative. Now, Virgo is in the 11th house. That's Aquarius energy. But remember, Virgo is the home. And that's her moon sign. So, yeah, she will have some type of contact with Aquarius energy one way or another. Because if you look, her true north node is Virgo. And they go to 7 degrees of Cancer energy again. But Virgo on the transit chart to the left is in the 11th house ruled by Aquarius. When you look at her moon sign, there is Aquarius. So now when you step to the right and you see her first house as Aries energy, and Leo, Virgo is leaving to go into the first house at 0 degree. But if you look at the chart on the left, Aries is with Venus. in the sixth house of Virgo. So when you look at her Virgo true north node, and then 14 degrees is going to be Sagittarius energy. If you look at her Sagittarius, it's Neptune retrograde at 19 degrees, which is the sun, but it is in the ninth house. So you got Venus and Mars, but we know right now Mars is kind of like on a universal chart to the left. Mars is kind of focusing on Gemini. All right, and Juno's there for Taurus and Chiron. So yeah, so like I said, the universe is really it's really smiling on Taurus for a possible relationship, but it's also smiling on Leo as well. All right. All right, third house Gemini. So we pretty much covered Gemini. Gemini may come into a relationship situation, but it's gonna be through like Mars like energy. So that's why I say it may work, it may not work. Because some people may see the Pluto retrograde or Mars like energy as excessive, but the universe is saying this is what we need in order for Gemini to take it seriously. So there will be some type of shakeup with Gemini. You got Capricorn, Saturn retrograde. There was that. Pluto, Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde. So, and also Gemini, that means even a Gemini may see some situations at his job as well. Because Pluto retrograde will take things away to make you accept something. And Saturn retrograde is kind of like causing karma to befall you based on something you did in your past life or in the past. All right. Now, her chart, when you go to the fourth house Gemini, you see part of fortune right there, but it's still at 77 degrees. And that just seems to be the theme almost. Is something fourth house related, whether it's your family, education, land or property, vehicle to travel. The mother, Imon quality, Imon Coeli. So it will be coming her way during this new moon. All right, so that's a family with the good fortune. 7 degrees means they're coming quick. All right. Fifth house, Leo. Now I'm at her chart on the right. Like I said, it's a great time for Leo according to this chart. You got Jupiter there and Lilith. But if you notice, Lilith is at 19 degrees, which is the sun. See, this is all about balance if y'all been listening to this reading. And that's what you have. Lilith represents the dark side of the moon, but she's shining at 19. So that's almost like meeting a mysterious kind of like woman for like a Leo or some mysterious like person, but it's good though. And that's what I was saying when I was looking at the chart on the left. It's like this is the fun. This is the fifth house of fun. So it's like Leo by being, more, you know, maybe smiling more, maybe more approachable. It looks like it can only be good for that particular time because it's going to be Jupiter coming your way and things of that nature. And that is the fifth house. So sixth house, the house of service. And this is a true north node of 14 degrees. Once again, Sagittarius energy. The temperance card. And the sixth house can be health, service, healing, small children, small animals, daily activities, daily duties, subordinates. Now, when we see Saturn, we know he may be dealing with some form of karma, so we want to make sure we look at it. Also, when you see Saturn retrograde on like on that chart to the left, that can also mean time delays as well. And this is okay. All right, I'm just looking at a couple of things. All right, so I just want to look at this a little bit. We'll read this together. What is your past life relationship karma? This time around, your Saturn is the answer. So your Saturn is your sixth house with Virgo. And I already said what that means. Restrictions, pain, and complexes that lead us
to feelings of inadequate in certain areas of our life, depending on where one has Saturn in his or her chart. And it says it's the planet of long-term commitment. So Saturn is the most karmic planet in this life. In this lifetime, your Saturn will teach you lessons and repeat it until you get it right. All right. All right, so a woman wrote him, and she said, well, "I'm not getting along with my husband. He bullies me. Blah blah blah. If I try to speak up, he says, I'm looking at things the wrong way. But he always wants to be in control of everything. He has a Pisces moon. I have a Pisces moon. He has a Libra moon. Does this have anything to do with it?" And the person said, "Look at your Saturn." So they didn't even make a comment on the Libra or Pisces moon. They said, "Look at your Saturn placement." Saturn shows so much astrology in relationships. So her Saturn is in Libra and his is in Pisces. So it's just the opposite. The lady was kind of right, but it was reverse. So he had a Libra moon, but a Libra Saturn, and she had a Pisces moon and a Pisces Saturn. Or let me say it again. He had a Libra moon and a Libra Saturn. Say it again. He had a Libra moon. Nah. Yeah. He had a Libra moon and he had a Libra Saturn. Nah. I'm sorry, y'all. He had a Libra moon. She had a Libra Saturn. And she had a Pisces moon and he had a Pisces Saturn. So that's how you know that's like some type of soul karmic relationship. But look at what he said though. He said, but that gives way to a long lasting marriage. That's kind of crazy because they were arguing. But that's what I was trying to tell you. That's what I was trying to tell you about this reading. See, the whole Gemini thing, when everybody's passive, if you got a female saying, what is Gemini going to do? Why hasn't Gemini? But have you ever even talked to Gemini? Like about it? Nah. You understand? Nope. You just expect Gemini to figure it all out on his own. And then Gemini is doing the same thing. Maybe Gemini is just not aggressive. See, like I said, I've learned a lot since I've been here, but y'all gotta understand when I was younger, I had no problem with aggression whatsoever. As I got older, I just more or less mellowed out. I'm just not with all that aggressive stuff no more. I don't need to be. And then you have females like they a lot of times they want to see it, or even some of them will say, well, I don't like him because he's this, he's that. But that's almost like the reason why you're with him, even if you're saying you don't like it. You understand? And we just read it right here. I'm not making this stuff up. This is astrology.com. And it's about Saturn, your past life relationship karma. Saturn. So he's basically implying that you're saying you don't get along and blah, 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 but it's kind of the reason why you are together. And he even said it could be a lasting marriage, which I think I wasn't expecting him to say that. He said it gives ways to long-lasting marriages. So that's what I'm trying to say. What you're saying is Gemini and it's Mars and all that. Gemini is kind of being pushed one way or another. So he said that you were connected to each other in a past life. So he's not saying they were twin flames or twin souls, but he's saying they were definitely known each other. So you have some type of Virgo Saturn connection. And that's also where your true north node is, which is interesting. So you got to remember, Vesta works with Virgo. See how your Vesta is 14 degrees and your true north node in Virgo is 14 degrees? Because Vesta works with Virgo. So even at Aries and Vesta, is Vesta seeing the need for a little bit more aggression, because without that aggression, you may never get to where you need to be, or vice versa. Because on the chart over here, you got Vesta with Aries and Venus. And Venus is 17 degrees is like Saturn. It's karma. And with your Saturn in 7 degrees, that would be Cancer energy. And when you look around, Cancer is, again, the true north node of the universe with Juno. And that's a serious relationship. Saturn represents your ignorance, your fears, your weaknesses, and when connected to another person's planet, it'll teach you about this. It can work both ways. Saturn teaches you about your weaknesses, insecurities, and when you need to improve in this lifetime. Wherever there is pain and trauma, people react defensively. So if someone in your life has a Saturn that triggers one of your planets, you will absolutely clash, depending where. Pressing the wrong buttons, bringing faults to the surface, is what Saturn does in relationships. It can be painful. People can feel that they are restricted, but what we learn through this, it is karmic and magical. But when you meet someone who has a personal planet that connects to your Saturn and vice versa, especially if it is your sun or moon or ascendant, you are stuck together for a while. It can take years, lifetimes, to resolve places of ignorance and pain from the past. These relationships turn out to be beautiful if you can work through the karma and allow the other person to teach you, and if the feeling is reciprocated on the other end. The one who has Saturn is always a role of the teacher and to be critical of the other person and finds faults, can be controlling and even fearful of the other person growing up or changing. And I got a female friend that's what happened. Because with everything we were doing, she hooked up with the guy, but you know, you can see it on her chart. See, she's very she's not gonna let somebody tell her shit. So that's what I was trying to tell y'all earlier. So the guy she was with, he was constantly telling her, I'm here, you know, I'm your twin soul and blah blah blah. But he was trying to tell her what needed to be done, and she wasn't having it. So she broke away from it. And even to this day, she's still hard-headed, the one I'm talking about. Because I can even see it, she's just very hard-headed. So again, I'm not telling you to get bullied, but sometimes you got to go through the process. But you got to make your own choices. So you're reading it right here. I'm going to say it again. This ain't me. But this is astrology.com. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is I see it. And this reading I'm doing right now, I see where they're using Mars and everything. Because what's going to happen, you can't sit back and expect the person to always do everything. You got to do stuff too. So what happens sometimes, y'all both got to get pushed through life. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen when I see my twin. I don't know what the heck she's going to do. But the funny thing about her is this. Me and her probably could have had great conversations, you know. But she was one with all that crazy shit. Everything just like you're hearing all this stuff about fear and, you know, thinking negative. That's Aries. Aries want to fight. Aries don't want to talk. Aries want to fight. If you don't show, if Aries doesn't see what Aries wants to see, Aries is going to go from 0 to 100. Now it's payback time. Like, whoa, we never even had a conversation yet. So it says you have to go through this because you got some crazy fool trying their best to destroy you. And you're sitting there going, wow, I've never done anything to this person. But then again, maybe not in this life, but maybe in the past life you did. And that's why when you see Saturn retrograde, that usually indicates something happened in a past life as well. So maybe you really hurt this person in a past life, and now they're going to hurt you in this one. And that's why they said this could take a while before it gets. Remember, because Saturn usually represents time delays. So that was something that we found out on this chart today. So the number 14 degrees, or that Aquarius energy, Temperance energy, even a play from Sagittarius energy, is trying its best to bring these together, but it will take time. 7th area, again, we already know relationships are going to be in the 12th house of the universe, but that is your destiny or your fated event with the vertex at 12 degrees. Once again, Neptune energy. And I just got finished saying Sagittarius, and your Neptune is in your Sagittarius. So I really did already explain all that. But something has got to be taken in order for the relationship to begin to get to where the universe needs it to be. That's Pluto retrograde. 8th house Scorpio. With Scorpio, but here you go. Anything could happen, but you still see 18 degrees, which is the moon. Anything could happen with Scorpio, but right now the universe has put Gemini in the 8th house of Scorpio. And right now the ascendant is Scorpio, but you still see that 12 degrees represent Neptune, the chart on the left. And now you get 3 degrees at your Capricorn, which is interesting. So still messing with the Gemini and Capricorn. So your 10th house is the same as this house over here, the 3rd house. Because it's Capricorn and Gemini energy. So there's definitely something that has to do with Gemini and the employment, place of employment, career, and reputation. Then the 11th house, again, friends, association, and groups, but the moon is right there. So you just want to make sure, what is your connection to the Aquarius energy? And that could have answers to your questions. And then the final house is Pisces in the 12th house. And that Pisces is the ruler of the 12th house. But again, that is a house of karma, endings. And now because your Neptune is in Sagittarius, it could be very highly psychic, highly intuitive, highly psychic. And again, if you serve in your 12th house, you still got to realize it doesn't mean you serve so much that you burn yourself out. Best way you can help people is to help them help themselves, help them to become self-sufficient. All right, so this will conclude this reading for the new moon in just 3 days. Saturday, May 4th, 6:45 p.m. Keep in mind, I got a lot of sales going on right on the channel, Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I think it's even a video to list everything, but don't even worry about that. You can always request the services offered on price list. Again, people get started on their natal chart, birth natal chart analysis. Just need your month, day, year, write it out, a birth. Write it out so there's no misunderstandings. Your time of birth, if you don't have it, the archangels can give it to us. City, state, and country, if not the USA, with just that information, can immediately get started, and people do it all the time. So that's that. You'll also have information in the description box. You can also contact me. But again, we do way more than just birth natal charts. We also do card readings, angel cards, so we do a lot. That's why I said there's a list. I think I have a video of it on his channel, Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444, or you could just request a list. Okay, this is Gat. I'm out. God bless.